Hello, hello. We are just chatting here on Ram and Goat Astrology. We were just talking about baby names and all kinds of stuff going on, and we thought let's just hit record and see where this episode takes us today. How are you doing today, Helena?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually very tired. I feel like I've had a really good pregnancy, like overall. In
Mm-hmm.
the beginning, it was a little tougher, and then it's just been really good for a long time. Like been able to eat anything that I want, like, my regular food.
Yeah,
But now I feel like I'm entering a new period. Like today, I felt it when all different types of foods doesn't really work anymore. Like I need to go back to more simpler, like kids food again,
yeah,
like I did in the beginning.
yeah. Like
Is that
yogurt or an
normal?
apple or peanut butter, like basic kind
Porridge.
of, yep,
Yeah.
basic
Like
stuff.
white bread,
Yeah.
you
Isn't it?
know?
Have you noticed any changes with your sense of smell and being really sensitive to different odors and stuff?
No, I've always had actually a really good nose. Like I can sm like opening the door, I'm like, you had lemon? It's like, shut up. I had, yes, I squeezed a lemon over my dinner. Like, not joking.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's things like that.
Yeah.
I have a really good nose.
So has that amplified in pregnancy at all?
No, it hasn't. It was just a bit it, in the beginning when I felt a little bit nauseous and my boyfriend was cooking,
Yeah.
then it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I don't feel otherwise that it has enhanced. I feel very much just like my usual self,
That's
just
awesome.
more hormonal. Yeah.
That's good. I remember each pregnancy my sniffer would pick out certain smells and like axe them like no you cannot smell that without
Uh,
like intense pain, and it was usually weird stuff like with Gertie, my 14-year-old, coffee. The smell of coffee
mhm.
made me want to just kill a bitch, like just take
Yeah.
somebody out.
I've heard that.
I could not be in the room with it. If my husband made it, it would give me like almost a headache.
Yeah.
It would literally hit the bridge of my nose, and it felt like it would burn the inside of my nose in a weird way. And then this last pregnancy
That's
with
intense.
Felix, it was garlic powder.
Mm.
So anytime Elliot would cook, which he cooks a lot and he loves garlic powder, I would walk in the kitchen and be like, "Oh, who?"
Yeah.
And like I would hold the bridge of my nose, and it would
Mm.
hurt. Strangest thing, and it took a while after the pregnancy to go away, but it did
Yeah.
that with each pregnancy. It just like each kid was different and like a different intensity. But it's very frustrating when it's like normal foods that everybody eats and drinks all the time that you're suddenly like
Yeah.
you're violent over.
I can't smell that. But you know what's like the only thing that's been different, like weird and constantly from getting pregnant is that my nose is has been stuffy
Yes.
since day one.
Yeah, because everything swells and dilates and water
Yes.
retention and the capillaries
Yeah.
do all the things, and oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. That's awesome that you've been having it so smoothly though. I love that for you.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that things are about to change because I can feel like today I sort of feel like I'm like, oh, is that famous heartburn I'm
Oh
feeling
yeah,
now?
that's
Because
terrible.
I've been reading about that and I'm like, oh, I don't have heartburn. I'm so lucky. And now I'm like, oh shit, I think it's
And
time.
when it does hit, it feels like a knife stabbing you in your esophagus. It's just
Mm.
terrible. Yeah. Which I mean, like, think about the timing, right? We wanted to talk about the year of the snake, which is what we were in 2025. And then this happens on the same day as this solar eclipse in Aquarius. So the Chinese calendar zodiac goes from the year of the snake into the year of the fire horse. And with the snake, it's really about wisdom and intuition and inner stuff and transformation and reflection, right? So, all of these kind of more gentler internal themes, right? A little bit more quiet and deep and more strategic. And so, we're moving out of that vibe. And it feels like your
Mhm.
pregnancy is moving out of that vibe.
Yeah, we're stepping it up with
And
we're like raising the intensity.
yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're moving into a new vibe, and it's happening in conjunction with an Aquarian solar eclipse, which I think is
Hmm.
such a quote unquote coincidence, right?
Yeah, that's very interesting. This is happening on February 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know so much about Chinese astrology,
I don't either.
but
I'm fascinated with it.
yeah, I've learned that they like the Chinese New Year is always on a new moon. So I guess that like the date will shift and like line up with the next new moon in that around that time.
Right.
And then solar eclipses are always new moons as well. But then ha them happening anyway, on the same day, on the same new moon, that's pretty epic.
It is. And I love this in for so many reasons. And then we combine this Saturn and Neptune at 0 point Aries combo in the same
Yeah.
week. Like, are you kidding me with
Yeah.
this? All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This is pretty crazy. I was looking at just like for reference, because now we're still in the year of the snake, and it's a wood snake, because every Chinese sign also has an element.
Mm-hmm.
So 2025 has been and or like for a year it's been the wood snake. And
Do
like
you
you
know
said, the snake
what
is
the wood element about that, like how that changes it?
the wood makes it flexible actually, because wood is an element that's alive, and you can, wood is not like metal, it's not fixed, it's movable. But wood is also maturity.
Mm-hmm.
So flexibility and like maturing.
Mm.
And then we add the snake. And I don't know if you said transformation as well, but
Mm-hmm.
snake is a lot about transformation. But yeah, for reference, I wanted to know like, okay, so when was the other time before this that we had the year of the snake? And when was the last time that we actually had a year of the wood snake?
When was it?
And so the last time that we had year of the snake was in, let me scroll back. I scroll too much. Bu- 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 2013. So 2013 was the last time we had a year of the snake. I don't know what element that was actually, but that was when. Do you remember Edward Snowden?
Yes, I do. Yep. The
I had I
whistleblower.
had for, I had forgotten about Snowden, but that was when Edward Snowden exposed that the global surveillance programs. That was the last time we had a year of the snake.
So
Before this time around.
personally for me, this was the year 2013 was when my third child, my daughter Guinevere, was born. And
Mm,
she her birth ushered in so much transformation for me. It is I'm actually writing a full length book on it right now, and I'm struggling because there's so much there that I
mm,
haven't really just taken the time to unpack. And now that I'm writing it and I'm unpacking it, like it's way bigger than I anticipated. And Guinevere's birth was wonderful, and the person she isn't like real uprising or like real like she does it in such a fluid way, just the way like water carves through earth, right? It's just kind of
yeah.
naturally happens over time. But this kid is the one who brought these deep strategic things that I had to deal with up and out. And it was a lot of health issues. It was a lot of deep emotional crap. And there was a lot of healing I had to go through, like physical
Mm,
slash emotional healing. And it was so transformational to have her. I mean, it took me
hmm
7 years to recover and then finally be able to have another kid. So it was huge.
Yeah.
So I'm just like thinking about this personally and how it transformed me
Hmm.
personally and what that looks like, right? So just kind of thinking about 2013 and what that
Yeah.
felt like. So
But
interesting.
isn't that crazy that it was the Edward Snowden leaks when he exposed the global surveillance program? That was the last time Year of the Snake. And now this time around, Year of the Snake, I mean, no one has missed. the Epstein files.
Right. Yeah, no, you
So
can't across
exposure,
the
I feel like
globe.
exposure,
Hmm.
yeah,
So
exposure
the
seems to
last
be a
year
big
of the
theme.
wood snake was 1965.
Oh, yes.
So we should go look and see what major exposure events happened in 1965. I'm gonna go search that. What?
Yeah, I don't know about like exposing things, but there was, I don't know, I didn't know about this one, but maybe you remember or like have heard about it, the Watts riots
Hmm. What's that?
in Los Angeles, or maybe not.
I don't know if I
So
have.
in 1965 in LA, there was something called the Watts riots, also known as the Watts Rebellion. And it was a
Okay.
6-day outbreak of civil unrest and in August of 1965.
Interesting.
Uh, and it was sparked by like violent confrontations between police and residents.
Oh, well, that
Ex
sounds really, really familiar. Okay.
Yeah, what it says here. So now I'm just reading from the internet. The uprising exposed deep racial and economic
Okay.
inequalities
Yep.
in mid 20th. Yeah.
Yep. So I just looked up like
Hmm.
the Selma March and the Selma marches and the voting rights issue and Bloody Sunday. All of that happened in 1965. My son or my kids and I actually just watched the docu pic they have on that. Really, really good movie, but hard to watch. But this was very much exposing the fact that
Mm.
half, more than half the counties in Alabama were not registered to vote because the voting rights were not, they weren't set up right. They were kept to oppress people, which is actually what's happening right now. And it
Yeah.
just passed the House not too long ago, 2 days ago, which is now trying to make it so that if your name doesn't match your ID, your name at birth doesn't match your ID. So women who've gotten married, like me, we
Yeah.
would not be able to vote unless we have extra paperwork or have paid extra fees or have our
Oh my
passport. So
God.
there's like a
Yeah.
lot more hoops to jump through now. And so that just passed 2 days ago. So again, with the voting rights and the suppressing things, right? So very, very similar to the last time. There was also the assassination of Malcolm X in February of 1965. His death intensified exposure of racial tensions, government surveillance, and internal conflict within activist movements. So again, that snake theme of power struggles and secrecy and the cost of speaking out and speaking the truth. And then, of course, the Watts riots came out, yep, erupted in Los
Mm.
Angeles years after systemic inequality boiled over. So the suppressed anger surfacing when something festers underground, it erupts, right? So
Mm.
this was also when the Vietnam War escalation started to get exposed. 1965 was the first major U.S. escalation in the Vietnam War. So the first large scale deployment of U.S. troops
Mm.
went over. This is, oh my goodness,
Hmm.
1965. Whew.
And apparently 2013 was a water snake year. So again, I'm no expert, but if you guys want to know, that was like a water snake
Didn't
year.
I? I just said
But
literally
yeah,
my daughter, I'm like, she did it like water carving through earth. Like she just
yeah,
kind of like
yeah. That's true.
wore
Yeah.
through me. That's so interesting.
That's very interesting.
Also in 1965, this is really interesting. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 eliminated racist national origin quotas. And this quietly but permanently transformed the demographic future of the United States. So that was really dealing with
Hmm.
the snake theme of structural systems and quietly shedding this old skin. So whew. It
Wow.
really feels like we're definitely repeating the same 1965 themes, doesn't it?
Themes.
Same ones.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Super interesting.
So this is what we're moving from, and we're moving into Year of the Horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
And I wanted
fire
to check
horse.
also, yeah, Fire Horse. Um, I also wanted to check like the history, like historical references about the Fire Horse and about the Year of the Horse.
Yeah.
Uh, and the most recent year of Year of the Horse was 2014. So yeah, obviously, because it's the year after the year of the
Yeah.
snake. So 2014 was the last time we had Year of the Horse. Um, and the last time we had Year of the Fire Horse, a Fire Horse year, was then in 1966, of course, the year after 1965.
Mhm.
And what happened in 66, like big themes was space exploration. There was
That
the
makes
Cultural
sense.
Revolution in China, yeah. Um, the Vietnam War escalation. Um, and also like a side fact, apparently in Japan in 1966, a lot of couples, um, held it held it in their pants for the year. They didn't want to have a child that was born in the year of the fire horse because that was seen as unlucky.
Are you serious?
So yeah, I'm serious. So apparently, so births like dropped that year massively because no, they didn't want to have children that was born in that year because it was seen as something unlucky. There was
Well,
like a historical reference about a girl or like a woman who apparently was born in the year of the horse, and she like lit a massive fire in Japan.
my brain's like, good, let
And
it burn.
from that, yeah. So, and they thought that people who are born in this year are just way too stubborn, like intensely stubborn. Um,
Well, I mean,
so
when I just look at
they
these
withstood having
themes,
children.
well, I think, yeah, I think the children thing is interesting because the people who wouldn't want to have children during that time frame tell me they're not ready for the change that the fire horse brings,
Hmm.
right? They're not
Yeah.
accepting that extremely powerful and disruptive energy. Clearly, this is what you've been waiting on. And
Obviously, I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I signed up for this extreme
hey, pick me.
willpower of a
I'll do it.
child. I was saying to my boyfriend the other day, I'm like, I am very stubborn and you're very stubborn. How's this child gonna
With
end
our
up?
powers combined. I've got
Yeah,
5 different versions of my tenacity and Philip's stubbornness. It's a really
yeah.
exciting when you see like your powers manifested outside of you and then they're arguing with you and you're like,
I like how you call it powers.
uh-huh. Yeah. Because
Our
it
powers
is.
combined. It
It's like
is. Yeah, yeah.
it's like superpowers that now have manifested in this being outside of you. And then you start to realize, is it worth fighting with me? Plus my spouse or
Oh,
my partner
mm-hmm.
combined is, and then you go,
Yeah,
never mind. All right, are they being decent humans? Are they trying to kill anyone? No. Okay, we're good. All right, fine. Yes, you can go
yeah,
buy the Legos or whatever.
yeah.
Right, whatever the thing we're fighting with. It is really interesting when you have that kind of tenacity that you're raising,
Yeah.
and you chose, your soul was like, I'm here for this fire horse kid. So
Mm-hmm. It sounds really cool to be honest. Like
right,
fire and a horse,
for
like
real.
that together, just put it on a t-shirt. Like if you want to put cool things on a t-shirt,
Yeah, do it.
fire and horses are two of the things that are
I
very
mean, and
cool.
the way their mane and tail flow, you could
Mm.
easily work those into flames, right? It just makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you think about it, so in 1966, this
Hmm.
started at February 21st, went to February 8th. And so the horse is speed and freedom and independence and movement. So to me, that sounds like Aries, right? Those are
Hmm.
all words you would use with Aries: freedom, speed, independence, movement. And then, of
Yeah.
course, we have fire with Aries. So intensity, visibility, passion, volatility, right? And so when we combine those, it's really an explosive momentum, like really explosive momentum. So fire horse years and fire horse people, I would not say they're considered to, be lazy, boring people by any means. Like this is somebody
Mm.
and a year and people who are born with these powerful disruptive energies, right? This is what this year is meant to do, is powerfully disrupt things. Now,
Mm.
this is happening while Pluto is hanging out in Aquarius. And I think this is even more powerful because of the spontaneity and unpredictability of Pluto and
Hmm.
Aquarius, right? And so I'm just looking
Absolutely.
looking through this, and just specifically in Japan, when you said that there was that superstition, like think about the interesting kind of fear that comes with that powerful disruptive energy. Like it scared a
Yeah.
whole nation to be like, we're not procreating right now. Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's clearly
Absolutely. And that's
it's
pretty crazy.
it's clearly
It
not a
was way
mild
too
energy.
powerful.
Yeah.
No, we're not a mild energy at all.
Yeah. So if we look at the
Ah,
themes we had in 1966 is really considered to be that cultural ignition energy, specifically with the psychedelic movement. This is when LSD was coming
true.
onto the scene, and this is when cannabis, was
Yeah,
really
this was like
being
flower power vibes, right?
absolutely
Like
yes.
67 the year after, isn't that like 67 to 69? Weren't those like the I wasn't there, but
Right.
I don't think. But
There either.
those were the years that was like the
Right.
most,
So
right?
then,
In my memory.
yes,
Yeah.
67 to 68 was the year of the fire goat. So we'd have to look up the fire goat. I'm not sure
That
what
sounds
that
pretty
one's
cool too.
right. I like goats. I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah. I love goats. They have the funniest sound.
They're fun and they're curious. So
Yeah.
this is interesting
Mm.
because then we have also in the 60s is when the youth really rebelled. And we're seeing that
Yes.
here where high schools are organizing and they're doing a
Hmm.
walkout of school to protest ICE. And then of course some parents are like, "This is great and all, but why can't you do it after school?" Like I read that in the comments. I was like,
Are you
are
serious?
you kidding me, lady?" Like
In what revolution does that happen? Oh, let me just do it after school hours.
so, the youth are starting to come together because they do not want to be raised in a society where there's fascist dictators who are, mentioned more times in the files than Jesus is in the Bible.
Hmm.
Like this is a revolutionary. I saw a meme the other day that showed how many times Jesus is listed in the Bible, how many times Harry Potter is listed in the books, and then how many times the Orange Man's name is listed in the
Mm.
files. And it was
Oh my God.
unbelievable the difference in numbers.
And it's so funny
Unbelievable.
how you don't really read about that. Anyway, I mean, I guess everyone's social media is, curated to them.
Yeah.
But I mean, newspapers,
No. Oh my God, no.
radio, no one is talking about that fact.
No, but it's so interesting to see all these other people, like the Norwegian somebody prime minister and the sultan of something. Like these, like this is worldwide on an
Oh
epic
my God.
level. And now
Yeah,
we
it
just
is.
found out that the top company in America that takes pictures of children, school children's
Mm-hmm.
pictures, their
Mm-hmm.
company was listed in the emails like a
Mm.
whole bunch of times too.
I saw that
School photos.
swish by and I just didn't want to go in and read it.
But
But
what
it's
a
so,
snake thing to bring up,
mm,
right? This is
yeah,
all still
really
year of the snake,
exposing.
and this is all coming to light and
Mm.
bringing up all these secret things that were written,
Yeah, and
there the whole time, but just not
yeah,
exposed.
absolutely. And it's just I feel like with this also it's inevitable to also just start talking about the fact that uh worldwide men are harming women
Yeah.
and also wanting, dreaming,
And it's
talking,
accepted.
searching about how to harm women. I
Mhm.
saw something today. It was, there was some kind of study that showed how many times the phrase had been Google searched how to kill, how to, it's just horrible to say this, but yeah, like how to pretty much, yeah, how to kill a woman and like
Isn't
get
it
away with
just,
it.
it's unbelievable. I
Mm.
think this is what
Oh, it
Pluto and
makes me so,
Aquarius is waking us up to is the
yeah.
intense violence that has been suppressed and accepted for millennia. For millennia. And now
Hmm.
women are finally at a point where they can band together, they can do something, they have networks, they have money, they have status, they have power, and they're like, hey, we have to change this. Like the
Yeah,
women
and I
have to
feel
change
like,
this.
yeah, the only reason why, because I had no idea this was so huge. Of
Me
course, I
neither.
know that there's a lot of violence against women done by men, but I had no idea of how common it seems to be. And that
Me neither.
feels like it's just been hidden from us by, well played, hidden
Yeah.
from all sorts of places, um, that we shouldn't really be aware of really how how fucked up a lot of people are
Right.
in their heads, and what they want to what they're dreaming about and what they're fantasizing about. And it's very frightening, but also makes me really, really angry and mad, and like
Yeah.
I want to go out in the streets and hit someone.
It's interesting too that I've been reading The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series, the three books
Hmm.
written
Yeah.
from an author who's no longer with us, but it's based in Stockholm, based in Sweden, which I actually had no idea when I picked up the book. I have had the series sitting on my shelf for probably 15 years, honestly, since they came out.
Yeah.
And I've never just sat down and read them. So I finally got to the point where I'm opening and reading. I am halfway through the third book, and it is so hard to read because it's now in the point where they're uncovering how deep the secrets go within the government, right? Within the Swedish government, and how these organizations have been formed to keep all of these secrets and to keep all of this trafficking and everything under control and under wraps. And yes, these books are quote unquote fiction, but they're not.
Mm.
And if there's anything I'm seeing is how creepily connected to what we're seeing. Um,
Yeah.
it almost feels like the books were almost like a foretelling
The prediction.
of what's
Yeah.
coming out, of what was happening under the surface, right? It's
Hmm.
almost like Stieg Larsson had the author had knowledge that he had to like channel or give to us through these fictitious books about
Mm.
rape and assault and sex trafficking, all the stuff, all of the things.
Mm.
And they're hard books to read. And they're good. There's a good story, right? It's
Mm.
good writing, good everything, but the subject matter um is not any different, and these were written 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So it, it's frustrating, right? Like it's frustrating that these
Mm.
fiction books are actually real.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
the names are different and the stories might be a little different, but they're not,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
So it is all over. It is in every country. It is prevalent throughout the entire world. And all of the women around the world have to get mad, and all of us have to
Mm.
come together. You are in
And
Sweden.
that's,
I am
yeah.
in America and Wisconsin. I am, there I have friends in other countries that are just as angry. Like it's time
Yeah,
for
yeah.
all of us to
To
get angry.
unleash
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
wrath. No, but honestly, it hasn't, and that's exactly what women have been so suppressed to feel: anger, and to seem crazy. Oh, you're crazy. She's crazy.
Well, and
You
that's where
know?
we have the 1966 cultural rebellion. That's when the
Mm,
generational gap terminology came out. The generational gap became
mm,
mainstream conversation. We are now seeing the gender gap, right? We're
mm,
seeing that's gonna be normal. Whether it's that phrase or not is irrelevant, right?
mm-hmm,
But we're
mm,
seeing that, right? Like men just aren't getting it, even if they're
mm,
really nice, lovely, woke men. They're still
mm,
struggling. They're still trying to figure out like how can I best support my women and my daughters? How can I best fight for them but still be in the masculine energy? Like I don't envy them. It's not
mm.
easy to have the entire cultural shift happen
Yeah,
immediately
yeah,
in one fell swoop. Like, good
yeah,
luck, guys. I, I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know what to tell you, but I know my oldest child is a boy and he is rounding the corner to 17. And he told me a couple of weeks ago, which I think is funny because the reason why he says it, he said, Mama, I don't particularly like being a white heterosexual male. Um, so I think I'm going to identify as a lesbian because
Okay, great.
I just don't know what else to do because
Okay.
I don't fit the category. He said I have you and I have
Yeah.
my three sisters and I clearly can't view the world the way most men do because none of you will allow me to. So like I'm
Mm.
aware of what's happening and I'm trying to do something about it, but he's like I don't want to be a white man. I
Mm.
was like, I know, honey, I'm sorry.
I feel him. Yeah, I get that. And every boy needs a sister.
Oh my gosh, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I think this fire horse energy is really going to light up that, not necessarily the generation gap that we see happening in 1966, but the shift in gender gap, right? And
Mm.
that was the time too in the 60s, specifically 66, when music became really very openly revolutionary, which you saw, of
Yeah.
course, across the world with the Super Bowl.
Oh yes. Like that's one for the history books
Uh-huh.
for sure. Like that's absolutely something like when you think about the 60s and some of the big um revolutionary acts by artists.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of them, and that's so funny. That's very, yeah, that's so simple. I never thought of that
Yeah.
because what he's doing is very flower power.
Yeah.
Um,
And I love that people were
uh,
like, oh, it was all in Spanish and we couldn't understand it. And I was like, you know that um, Spanish and Latin America, that's America still, right?
yeah.
You know that we're all American and the United
Mm,
States is just like a part of
hmm
America.
mm. Yeah.
And
I'm pretty sure many people didn't realize that. But
it's I don't know, as somebody who just doesn't view the world the same way as the
yeah,
closed-minded, like I appreciate other genres of music. I appreciate other languages. I appreciate other cultures. I like that. So
yeah.
I'm not sure what the problem is. I
Mm,
don't get it, like genuinely. So I don't understand
yeah.
why everyone's got their undies in a bundle. I'm like, I'm sorry, have you never danced to some really good samba and
Yeah.
salsa? Like what? Hello, it's so weird. The whole thing's
Yeah.
it's so weird over here.
Yeah, because all of a sudden every single person needs to agree and like something. Like
Right.
this is not, I guess, like other Super Bowls, have they gone around with a survey asking every single person, do you agree?
On
Do you
this
like this?
particular music,
Do
yes.
you really like this artist? No. But yeah,
No.
him taking that message of like the only thing, what did he say? The only thing stronger than fear is love. Is that what he said?
Yeah. Yep.
Or like that's what the big
That was the
screen
big
said?
message. Yeah.
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 And
And
like
with
pretty
the
much we're all American. Like it's a, it's a,
whole thing,
unity,
the whole thing.
uniting the Americas.
So I think what I love about the fire horse theme in general that I've been learning about is there in the 60s, specifically 66, there was no longer like a quiet dissatisfaction, right?
No.
It became visible defiance.
Hmm.
Right, like women stood up, people stood up. You know, the Selma March and the repercussions of that. People stood up and said no. And the fire horse theme is very much freedom over control and movement over obedience. Right.
Hmm.
If you got a horse that's on
Mm.
fire, it needs to move instead of just stand there stoic.
It's gonna
That's not how
gallop.
it's
Yep.
it's got to move. So the
Hmm.
freedom and movement are going to be huge themes, and they're happening on this Aquarius solar eclipse, which is going to
Mm.
diffuse that Aquarian energy in such a unique way.
And square to Uranus.
I know, I know.
Yeah. And you all know Uranus energy, right? It's
I
very
know.
disruptive, and it's pretty much, it's very Aquarian and it's very eclipsy. Like the eclipse vibe is a very similar way to what I describe as Uranian energy. So it's like a
Yeah,
triple threat.
yeah.
We have a solar eclipse, we have Aquarius, we have Uranus.
At the end of
Oh, and
stability.
then the fire horse.
Yeah. And Uranus is at the end of the sign of stability and self-reliance and trusting yourself. And Taurus is very much about like knowing what you are capable of doing and the limits of your self-reliance. And I think people are learning how to value their skills and how
Yeah,
they can contribute in new ways, right? I think just thinking
that's
of
yeah.
1966 and how the exposure of the 65 stuff became really action oriented in 66.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yes, because yeah, what you said now, Uranus, who's squaring the solar eclipse, is in Taurus, and it's been retrograding for a long time,
Yeah.
but now it's moving forward.
Yep.
And during the whole time, like pretty much when Uranus entered Taurus, that was pretty much when COVID hit. And then after COVID came the
Well, he hit Uranus entered in 2018. And 2018 and 2019, there was a lot of food and electrical and financial disruptions. Remember, like Europe was having electrical stuff going on. There was a
we
lot of,
were, but weren't that af wasn't that?
there was,
I think that was after the.
we had a bunch
I
of
feel like
stuff
that was like a
happen in
repercussion
2018 that had a lot to do with food. And I think the US had a bunch of poultry factories
economy.
burned down. We had a bunch of economic stuff
Mm.
happen. There was a
Oh
ton
yeah.
of weird shaking up of our food system with chickens and poultry factories. There's a ton of
Hmm.
fires and
Hmm.
sudden electrical
Yeah.
things with food. It was a really big
Yeah.
deal into 2018, 2019, and then COVID happened. And
And then
then all
COVID.
of like the cost of building materials skyrocketed, the cost of homes skyrocketed, like everything went through the roof with
Hmm.
physical structure of building.
And in Europe, there was this. I think I don't know. Don't quote me on this. I think it had to do with the Russia-Ukraine situation. There was like a huge. And don't quote me on this either. What I'm gonna call it because I'm not that into electronics. But like a power cord that's like bringing lots of like electricity to the mid part of Europe. Like
Yeah.
that was sort of like that was cut. Oh no, it was in the oh yeah. Okay. I think it was in the Baltic Ocean. At
Yeah.
the bottom of the Baltic Ocean, there was this huge cord with electricity that was run over by a ship,
By ship. Yeah.
apparently an accident,
Yeah.
and that caused
Like a huge
a
electrical shortage.
shortage, extreme.
Yeah. And prices
And
skyrocketed, and you guys were
oh
like
yeah.
rationed. Your electricity was rationed. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was
Crazy.
like no wheat. There was a lot of like
Yeah.
seeds. That was a shortage of seeds. Anyway,
So,
point being that Uranus in Taurus has been really shaking up safety, and Uranus
yes.
is electricity, and Taurus is safety, food, economy, and now
He's
we're
at
moving
27
forward with Uranus.
degrees, almost
Yeah,
28 degrees of Taurus. So he's at the tail end, squaring this 28-degree sun and
yeah,
moon, and on the same day that we switch into the fire horse. And two,
yes.
3 days after Saturn moves into Aries, hitting Neptune at 0 point Aries. And my brain is like, holy shit.
Yeah. But yeah, just one last thing about Uranus. I think that Uranus gonna is gonna have a lot to say in this solar eclipse. Uranus and Taurus, I think, is gonna have, final degrees of Taurus. I think it's gonna have a lot
So
to say there.
I just found out that in 1966 was the formation of the Black Panther Party.
That was the
That was the formation.
formation.
And was it you or someone
Oh,
just told me that recently, like they're coming
no, it was
back?
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Black Panthers are coming back.
resurfacing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this marked a shift from this peaceful protest into armed self defense, which you can easily see how that's going to
hmm
happen in America here real fast. Real fast.
yeah. Because apparently, like, how else do you protect yourself? I guess. I mean, I've never been for weapons or guns. I'm not really, but I guess it comes to every situation has its limit
Mm-hmm. Right.
at some point. I'm very much a pacifist, but that doesn't really work
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, so I just looked up about Black Panther Party to see what's going on there. There is a group calling itself Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, but they've been active locally in Philadelphia more recently, and they're really anti, showing up to basically fight against the ICE situation. And so this group is kind of drawing on the legacy of that original Black Panther Party. I can see where that would just take off easily,
Mm.
easily, because they already have um like an understanding, right? People already understand what they're doing and what they're here for,
Yeah.
right? that that rhetoric of, don't ask permission, just take action
Hmm.
and move, which is what that fire horse does. And then, like you
Yeah.
said, yes, NASA was really in this massive reach for the space program, and
Yep.
they were doing all kinds of technological ambition stuff, which is super, super huge with the fire, energy of initiation and moving forward. So
Mm.
literal, like 1966 was literally a propulsion year physically.
Yeah.
Right. And now we have the James Webb telescope out there. We're trying to we're going to Mars and doing, it's a lot of just still putting
It's a
ourselves
lot.
out there.
I also feel like fire horses are not very shy and quiet and thinks about how they put together a sentence before they say it. Like not very socially correct.
Yeah. No,
Like you can be, of course
no.
not hurting anyone, but I feel like there has been at least in Sweden, there has been a long, it's gone very far as people are afraid of opening their mouths, how to put together a sentence because they don't want to
Yeah.
offend anyone. And I feel like, okay, we learned a lot there, but also we have to be able to speak.
Well,
And
exactly.
it's okay to feel offended, maybe, and to offend as long as you take it from there and talk to each other and like work out a solution and move forward.
Exactly. And it's not in the moving forward. With 2026, this is not a year of like, will things move?
Mm,
It's a really big year of like, where is the movement happening? Right? It's
yeah.
not will, it's where is it actively going because it's already
Yeah.
moving all over the place, right? Fire horse energy, like thinking about this isn't a gentle, passive,
No.
oh, do it, it's not a gentle shift. This is
No.
igniting momentum that was already building. And if we look at the lens with the historical pattern of the 66 and the symbolism and the global atmosphere we're moving into, I mean, we're really looking at public passion, especially with Pluto in Aquarius right now. We're looking at identity assertion, like really
Yeah.
getting rid of this class system that we call race, right? That really is a class system, right? It was only until recently where Irish were really put in the same category as slaves. And it was like, I just can't understand the class system. I clearly have had many past life experiences and with it. And in this life, I didn't come here to deal with that.
Mm.
And I think we're really going to be seeing massive shifting over this 1% having all of the money, all of the stuff. And it's going to be redistributing energy
Mm.
and it probably will happen quite fast, right? Because that's
Mm.
Pluto in Aquarius doesn't take its time. Saturn and Neptune in Aries, even though Saturn is like the planet of time, it's Aries. So you can only restrain fire for so long before you're like, okay, I got to let it go.
Mm.
So I think, and then with Uranus moving into Gemini, this is going to happen so fast with these, revelations that came about with the snake, the executions of taking action, not necessarily like a physic. Maybe it is a physic. Maybe we bring back public hangings. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Oh
know.
my God.
But like, look at how many people are getting called out with these files.
Mm.
Look how big it is. I had no idea it was this big. None.
Mm.
Not a clue. And to see how far this is spreading and how fast is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think we're already seeing the acceleration happening with the protests, with the people being mad about the deaths and the kids being put in these detention centers and people dying in detention centers and the political polarization and the economic restructuring and AI is throwing everyone for a loop, right? So
Mm.
this is just there's so many fires burning already, and now they're going to start to move, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of like I would imagine energetically pouring gasoline on what's already there. And what's already there is a lot,
Mm.
So I think we're going to see bigger protests, bigger demonstrations. I think we're going to see huge cultural movements. I
Yeah.
think there's going to be massive viral moments of leaders being brought down, people being arrested that you would have never ever in a million years seen stand
Mm.
trial, right? They're gonna get Pluto is not gonna be in Aquarius for a short amount of time. He's got 23 more years there.
Yeah.
We got enough time to hold all these motherfuckers accountable. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. we got this, right? Because that's really what Saturn and Aries is doing, is bold leadership,
Mm.
right? You're going to see new bold leaders stepping up. You're going to see feminine leaders stepping up. You're going to see strong individuals, with their voices taking center stage and shifting our beliefs, which is Neptune,
Mm.
shifting our
Mm-hmm.
beliefs as a culture. For millennia, we believed that women were second class, blah, blah, blah. Not that we actually did, but you know what I mean. And children are expendable, and big pharma could just do whatever they wanted, their experiments on humans, all of the things. And
Mm.
it's not happening anymore. I
Mm.
just saw this morning that yesterday a senator, I think it was Rand Paul, put forth a bill to eliminate big pharma's legal immunity from being sued. And I was like, yes, yes, please hold them
Yeah.
accountable. I don't, if
Mm.
if people want to use big pharma, that's fine. You just make sure that when you use a product that you can't sue them for, that just kind of screams red
Mm.
flag, right? That
Mm.
screams red flag. So the fact that that's happening and that was just put through yesterday feels like the
Wow.
perfect like snake thing to like sneak in there at the end of like, oh yeah, by the
Yeah.
way, big pharma, you actually can't hide behind legal immunity anymore, and now we're going to allow people to actually sue the pants off of you for injuries and deaths your products actually cause. So just so you know, we're good 3 days before we move into Fire Horse. We're gonna do this. Okay, bye. So I just think it fits so perfectly, and
Yeah.
I'm here for this. I also do you foresee countries' borders changing? Do you see that happening?
Uh, yes, I think so, but I feel like it would be more of like an open situation,
Yeah,
a more more fluidity, more
yeah.
Pisces vibe, more like come in, you leaving? Okay, bye. Like not, not not that like line in the sand. More
Yeah,
like okay, like more
freedom,
fluidity,
more freedom.
more freedom, and
Right, the horse
I
doesn't want
hope
to
for
have
that.
these boundaries and restrictions. If I can't go on that field, I have to stay in this
Yeah,
field.
and
And I think the
borders.
fire horse might just blast right through boundaries. And I
Yeah.
have a suspicion that the way we view countries and lines and traveling between is going to shift over
Mm.
the next few years.
Yeah, building walls on borders are just that's just so 2016.
So old school. We're not there
Yeah,
anymore.
so old. No.
I think we're going to see huge shifts with financial stuff though too, and
Mm.
the speed at which things are going to shift in the financial realm, right? Big technological leaps, big shifts when it comes to uh, big companies that were huge and taking over. Those are going to kind of
Mm.
crash and or not disintegrate, but like spread out into other.
Mm.
You're seeing
I'm
it with social
hoping.
media, right?
Mm.
Social media just got so TikTok just got purchased. Since TikTok got purchased, everybody's pissed off at TikTok because everybody's feed is messed up. I am seeing all kinds of people that I never followed, and they're constantly in my feed, and I'm like, what is this? And people
Yeah.
are really annoyed, and I'm noticing more and more ads or reels coming through for independent social media and independent platforms. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm here for that. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm really hoping for the future that currency can also look a little like a little different, a little more like I have this look, I can do this service for you, or I have these 10 jars of jam. Like that money is not as because now you work, you get your money, you pay for the jam. But here, I mean more like, oh, you have 10 jars of jam. Oh, that's great. I would really need someone to sew me some clothes or
yeah.
whatever.
Clean
Like
out
I
my
don't know.
gutters. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. Yeah. I think that sounds so Pluto Aquarian, doesn't it?
Mm,
I love that. That's very barter system. And here at the
yeah.
Aquarian Acres, we do that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. So I'm here for that. I think that's exactly what we've put too much as a society, too much energy into the concept and idea of this green paper running and
Mm.
ruling our lives. And now we're starting to recognize it's not even green paper, it's just numbers on a screen. And
Hmm.
why are we letting these numbers on a screen rule our life when we can easily just trade it back and forth? It
And you
doesn't.
know what that means? That means if we leave the money situation more, there's not this thing that, you know, the hamster wheel where you like have to get a job to pay
Exactly.
for your bills, to pay for your food, because you're bartering now.
Exactly.
So with
There
your day, you can be like, oh, today I'm gonna make that jam. I'm gonna go and get those apples from my neighbor. It sounds like I'm talking about the 14th century, but I feel like this is gonna be like a next level
it
14th
is.
century, you know,
It
in a
really
good
is.
way.
And I think so. I watch a show on Discovery Channel called The Homestead Rescue. Okay. Marty Rainey.
Mm,
Shout out to Marty and Misty and Matt Rainey if you're listening. Oh my God, I love you guys. Um, so I love this show because what they do is they are a family that goes and helps people who are trying to get off grid and trying to get self sustainable.
yeah.
And obviously there's not a lot of support for this because what's in it for the government if you're living on solar panels and wood heat and living off your
Yeah.
land with your own animals and like what why would the government want us to do that?
Yeah.
They don't benefit. So this show is really amazing because they go in and they really help people get on their feet, get some structure, get their well for
Mm,
their water, whatever it is that they need. And it's so cool to watch these people that are like, yeah, we lived in town, we lived in the city for 15 years, and we just couldn't do it anymore. So we sold everything we had and we bought this chunk of land to start our life over again.
mm,
And that's pretty much every single story. Every
yeah.
single story of these homesteaders are they're trying to get out of the rat race and live in a more sustainable, person centered environment instead of money centered environment. And that's so cool that there's um, enough people doing it that there's a show called Homestead Rescue. It's not cool that we have to rescue them all, but we
Yeah.
but what I've seen throughout the show is that
That's
once you
funny.
help one family get started, they pass that on. And then they
Yeah.
help the next family and the next family. Suddenly, there's this giant community of people coming together
Yeah.
to help each other. And it's exactly what you're talking about.
And they are making it easier. They are doing all the like a lot of heavy lifting for us, like me, who still live in the city and want to do that journey. Like
Exactly.
now there's a lot more people who has done that in recent time and have lived in the city.
Yes. Yeah. And if
Yeah.
it's not something you're used to and know how to do, it can be really challenging. We've been out here
Mm.
for 13, almost 14 years now. And it's really tough. I mean, we've learned about
Yeah.
milking goats and we've learned about pigs and cows and all of the things. And we are still not by any means not sustained on our own, right? We're certainly trying. We're trying to get there, but it is challenging to get to a point of
Mm.
self sustainability because we
Yeah.
are stuck in a matrix. And I think
Yeah.
this year of fire horse energy is it's not cautious and it's not content with the way things were. So I think that
Yeah.
movement is going to happen with more and more people exiting where they are in life. I think they're going to let go of jobs. I think the job market is going to be really, really different. I don't think people are going to stay in their traditional jobs. I think they'll leave them a lot faster. And I think
Yeah.
corporations are going to be breaking down in the way they used to be functioning. They won't be able to function that way anymore. So I'm pretty sure we're already seeing that, but should be interesting to
Oh
watch
yeah.
the narratives change here with this fire horse here because I mean, just look at what AI is doing and how fast that's happening,
Oh yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah. And I feel like this energy is already seeping in because we
Mm-hmm.
have talked for so long about this and it's so interesting.
It is.
And I'm feeling this energy and it gets me revved up in a good
Yes.
way.
Yes.
But I do feel like that my little fire horse in my belly needs to eat more. Like I've entered that phase too now. I think it's like a growth spurt or something because I need to eat constantly
Like
now
all the
again.
time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Welcome.
I had some dinner before, but now I need my other dinner.
You have to have round two of dinner. Second breakfast.
Yeah.
You need a second
Yeah.
dinner. Uh huh. And that'll last while you're nursing and everything too, because you just need
Mm.
so many calories. So get used
I
to
like
this.
food,
Good.
so that's good.
Good. You're going to need to.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody, to our Ram and Goat ramble about the snake and the fire horse and exploring that with us. We had fun, and we hope you have a good solar eclipse and
Yeah.
year of the fire horse celebration. And we wish you all the best, and we'll catch you next
And
time.
just one last
Oh yeah,
sentence to give you, because while I've been reading and, bumping into all sorts of material online about the solar eclipse and that, and it can get you a little scared, maybe it gets you feeling like, I need to do this specific ceremony now, or I need to do this specific thing, blah, blah. The only thing I feel that you need to do is know that these things are happening and don't try and control a situation.
no.
Watch it unfold and go with it in the best manner that you can.
And
Don't try and
remember,
control.
remember to channel it. Right, you don't control electricity; you channel it into something. Right? You
Yeah.
channel it into a light, you channel it into the computer, you utilize it. So if this energy is building inside of you, you have to be the vessel. So don't
Mm,
don't just try to hang on to it, right? Move it through you. Turn
yeah.
on some music and dance, go for a walk, go swim, right? Whatever you can do
Mm,
to move the energy through you, because
yeah.
I think that's a great thing to say before we sign off for sure.
Yeah, yeah, because I feel too like a lot of people are gonna feel like, oh, this is such a rare thing. I need to really take advantage of this. I need to do something. It's like this energy is gonna happen to you and with you, whether you do a ceremony or not. Just
Exactly.
chill, you know, take a nap.
Take
The solar eclipse is gonna happen either way, either with or without you.
I
You're not
love
gonna
it.
miss out.
I
Yeah.
love it. Great words of wisdom from Helena over there. Thank you, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Bye bye.
Thank you for joining us this week. Be sure to like and support the show by sharing with a friend or joining us on Patreon. And you can buy us a tea or coffee and financially support us. Thank you so much. It's so appreciated.